Season 2 of the Pat and JT podcast.
Oh man, I'm here at last. The best time, always gonna be the best. Come on!
Exclusively on the Hurrdat Media Network.
All right.
Shocked this morning. Utter shock.
Utter
shock.
as in okay, never mind.
It had nothing to do with cows. Nothing to do with cows. Kind of cows, because you can dip what I'm going to talk about in milk.
What?
Dunk in milk.
Yeah.
So again, shout out and thanks to Les Vogler from the bullpen for bringing us delicious cookies yesterday.
I was
from
just pulling
Goodly.
this up. Goodly cookies at Village Point. Yeah.
Thank you, Les, very
They're
much.
crazy.
I hate you at the same time.
Are you shocked that there are still some cookie remnants left?
Well, and there are fewer than there would have been had I not mentioned it to my... Okay, this is what I'm shocked about. So last night we're sitting around and Bennett stops over at the house and we were talking about whatever. And
let's just point out to you, Les brought us each a dozen cookies.
yes, or
roughly,
whatever.
whatever.
They're
A
freaking
box of cookies.
They're like basically a whole bunch of mini cakes.
Oh my God.
They're absolutely so good, and they were still warm when he dropped them off.
Yeah.
And and sorry, Mom, but it's bullshit. Because it was like 48 hours before Beth, this is it. We're eating. We be eating healthy. We had meal prepped, and then he dropped that bomb. But whatever. It was so good.
Yeah.
So there were still some up here yesterday. We kind of put them in the commons area, and everybody had kind of left for the day. So there were a lot of cookies left. So last night, mentioning to Bennett, I'm like, have you had these Goodly cookies? Whatever.
Yeah.
And he's
Did you
like,
take
"No."
some home?
No, I was informed strictly not to bring any home. I said, okay. So we're talking to Bennett about it. He's like, oh, can I have some? I'm like, listen, dude, I'll give you some. If you get up in the morning and meet me at work, 7 o'clock, I will give you some cookies. Completely forgot about it. This morning, 6:30, get a phone call. I'm on my way. Like, are you kidding me?
That's all it took. All these years.
All it took. Can't get the kid out of bed to mow the yard, take the trash or whatever. But he from 192nd Harrison to 108th and John Galt to get 4 cookies and then back home.
Out.
And this morning, and he's like, okay, can you meet me in the downstairs by your car? I'm like, sure, that's fine, whatever. So I meet him downstairs. I'm waiting. And then I get back upstairs and Bill, he's like, so, kind of a little shady drug deal you had going on in the parking lot this morning. I'm like, well, it's a good cookie deal.
It's a cookie drop.
It's a cookie drop.
Well, I was shocked when I came in because there's a box up here there was 2 whole cookies. Mm-hmm. And because they're so big, everybody's just like breaking off a chunk, and there's these remnants of cookies.
Are there like just shards?
Yes, I have one in my hands. And 5 seconds in the microwave, it's like brand new.
God. And I'm like, who are we fooling? Where we take a chunk here, a chunk there. We know in an hour we're going to eat the whole cookie.
But it makes you eat it a little slower because you have to get up and walk back and go get another piece. So,
Right.
so there is a little bit of
Cardio. Is that cardio?
That's cardio. I'm working off some calories.
Little cookie cardio.
I'm trying to justify and rationalize, please.
I haven't asked Bill
funny.
if he saw me after I gave Bennett the cookies. I had to chase Bennett around the car to give him a hug. So I don't know. He's like, this is the weirdest drug deal I've ever seen. Payment for drugs,
right?
A hug. And I finally caught him and hugged him from like
God.
that. So I don't know if he actually saw that.
Oh, my God.
But those cookies are insane.
Mm-hmm. They really are. It's crazy. I'd never heard of them before. And I don't know that there's another one anywhere. I think that this is like, I don't know.
I mean, there are 4 in the country. I saw like there's one like in whatever, Denver and Chicago. This is the only one in Omaha. There's only one in Omaha.
So I was looking at Goodly cookies. And it's so funny because when I came in, that was the first thing I did was I lifted the lid and I'm like, oh, hey, there's still a little bit in here. Mm-hmm. Let's take one of these. Thank you. Utah, maybe Lincoln. I don't know. Goodly cookies. Wow.
Yeah. So thanks, Les.
Again, he's so funny too because he was doing so well. He was on keto, right? And did really well. And circumstances, whatever happened, he got off keto, and his mom made him. His mom's a really good cook, baker, and like he says, I don't care anymore. He says, I really don't. He says, I don't know how many more mom's pies I have. I don't know how many more mom's casseroles I get. And he says, if mom says I'm going to make you dinner, by God, she's going to make me dinner.
Oh my gosh!
And then trust me, she does that farm cooking. Yeah.
There's nothing keto about that stuff.
Not one bit. Not one bit. It's meant to fuel a family that's out working in the fields all day. But unfortunately they aren't anymore.
2021, unfortunately.
And he's got the cab of his tractor is nicer than most homes. Oh, I'm just going to say so. And I know.
Oh, man.
So not quite like it used to be, but the meals still are.
Oh, yeah.
Hilarious. Speaking of food, got a couple of things for you. I saw a post yesterday. Somebody posted on Omaha Food Lovers. Yeah, that's just the wrong group for me to belong to because it just gets you going. But the nicest post, and there was one, and then I scroll, and then there's another one, and it's about the same topic. One writes, stopped at Dunkin' Donuts in Millard. The line wasn't long, but it was going really slow. The lady in front of me ordered a coffee and a breakfast sandwich. I then hear a voice say, "I'm sorry, ma'am, but I can't make that because I'm the only one here." And the lady in front got pissed, yelled at her, and sped off.
Good Lord.
She said, so I placed my order, and when I pulled up to get my coffee, there was a young lady bent over bawling her eyes out because she was the only one that decided to go to work. And instead of saying, screw this, she stayed, and she was getting people their coffee and donuts as best she could. Best damn coffee I've ever had, she says. And to the young lady at Dunkin', thank you for everything. And to the young lady whose name I didn't get, also, I hope your day got better. Then scroll down a little bit further. Just want to give a shout out to the woman working, all caps, by herself this morning at Dunkin' Donuts on Millard Avenue. She was obviously understandably upset and emotional, but still killing it. I offered some words of encouragement, gave her a tip because that's all I could think to do during a time where she was feeling all sorts of things, including underappreciated. I really hope her day got better. Also, when she could have easily kept the doors closed and said, screw it. Yeah. She obviously values her job, and I hope that she's recognized.
Good for her.
Some other people jumped in also and said, if that's the one that's usually there in the morning, she's fantastic, da-da-da, she's a wonderful ray of sunshine. I mean, everybody's writing all this nice stuff about her. I don't know who she is. I don't see anybody in here, writing her name down. But if you know who she is, and she had a bad day, just tell her a lot of people said a lot of nice things about her.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I just did kind of like, oh my gosh. And you've got 198 comments on one of them. That's when I grabbed it 13 hours ago. It'd been posted about, and the other one was up for 3 hours, had 185 comments.
And what a bee, that lady that sped off and yelled at her. Like what?
Exactly.
How she
didn't get your breakfast sandwich.
What's she supposed to do? Like she's the only one there. Like suck it.
She literally told her, I'm sorry, I can't. I'm the only one here. I can't. It's like the story that we were talking about yesterday. Taco Bell. You feel bad for the people because there's only 3 in there. They can't open up the lobby.
Right. What can they do? It's not their fault.
There was nothing else they could do. It's not their fault. A truck full of 19 construction workers pulled in with their own credit
own cards hanging out the. I want one quesadilla. Swipe it for Terry.
It's like, oh my God! It is. I'm sure it's so frustrating for people that are in that situation that decide they're going to work, and they can't find enough. They just can't find people that will take a job.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
so the employment, they're just short-staffed.
Bennett said at Walmart, like there are times on Saturdays, sometimes he's the only one working in his area.
Wow.
Like it's him and then like one other manager, and he works at a neighborhood one, so it's not like a monster Walmart.
Yeah.
That's why that sometimes he'll work a 7-hour shift. It's just him.
Wow.
And doing like pallets and all that stuff because people just don't show up. They just don't show up for work.
That's terrible.
I've never understood that. Just don't show up for work.
I know. I don't understand it either. I just don't. It's so strange to see it on such a large scale. Yeah. It's like every time you turn around, what? What do you mean they're closing early? What do you mean they're, you can't do this? Well, there's nobody here.
Yeah.
Or, I noticed it too when we were going to breakfast with Mom and Dad, right? One section of the restaurant's closed off because people didn't show up for work. So you had like 2 waitresses running their asses off.
And yet they can't fire them because, I mean, they need people, even if it's one day a week, they need someone.
But they might show up, might show up. So you end up with people waiting.
Yeah.
But everybody is really understanding because they know that's what the deal is. There was one morning that 3 people called in sick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One morning, and so you end up with 2 waitresses and a couple of busboys that are just like working like crazy.
And they're slammed.
Yeah. They were slammed, and thankfully, everybody that I saw was being served by them was super generous with the tips, like waiting for them to come back to hand them the tip.
Which is
that's nice. You know what I mean?
Oh, I do that, and even if it's, I wait till they see me put the money down. I want to make sure
the tip jar.
Yes.
You don't just slide it in.
Heck no. Even and at Starbucks, always pay with a card, but they don't. You can't. There's no place on the receipt for tip. So, but they have a tip jar there. Damn straight. I will not put money in there until one of them. They're watching me.
My name is Pat. Clink.
Hello.
Not Clink. It's Crunch paper. I'm sure.
No,
sure
it's Clink.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Pat. Tink, 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 tink. some lint, piece of gum.
Everything in my pocket, it's yours. Oh my God. And then one other food-related item.
God, what the deal? I'm starving.
I didn't intend for this at all. And this just came up because I was rereading that post about the Dunkin' Donuts girl. And I just happened to see somebody had posted need recommendations on what to order at La Casa. Son is having a fundraising event there, and we've never been. And I was like, I've never been either. Let's take a look at what they're saying. It was like 45 comments. She posted this within the last hour.
La Casa's bomb.
Poof, everybody threw it out there. Post after post saying the same thing, and the very first one has a bunch of likes. Everybody's like, hamburger pizza. You don't need to change it up. Just hamburger pizza with onion. Hamburger with Romano, no mozzarella. Hamburger pizza, no need to change it up. I'm like, really?
It's good. I've had 100 pizzas there, but I'm sure I've had the hamburger. It's just all good. It's just amazing. And the last 2 weeks, I've talked about La Casa in general more than I have in the last 15 years.
Why?
Sorry,
I brought it up.
Someone at Beth's work asked her about it, and she thought it was a Mexican place. It had no idea it was pizza.
I did too.
Yeah, and she's like,
that's I totally buried the lead there.
Yeah.
Totally. I always thought it was Mexican food.
Yeah, and that's what she said. I'm like, no, it's not Mexican. No, it's great pizza. So we were talking about that. She's like, oh, we got to try it. Okay.
Why is it called La Casa?
It's the house. Isn't La Casa? Mi casa, su casa?
Is that Italian?
I don't think
pizza?
so. Pizza
is Mexican. It's Spanish.
Pizza's Italian. I think pizza is technically like America, isn't? Because I don't think pizza came from the boot. But so then somebody up here at work last week she was walking into the lunchroom like, hey, what's up? What you going to get for lunch? She goes, oh, I got extra La Casa left over from last night. I'm like, okay, that was the second time. And then this morning, La Casa.
I'm looking up the history of pizza. Sardinia? It's in the Mediterranean. Sicily.
Oh, so it is Italian.
It is Italian.
Okay.
Pizza's Italian. It really is Italian. We've absolutely made it a hybrid.
Of course. Yeah, because the Chicago style deep dish, all that stuff. We've Americanized it.
We've definitely destroyed the originality of it. But so it is Italian. So La Casa is Spanish. That's why everybody thinks it's Mexican food.
Do you not go to Branding 101? People who started that? It's not a good idea.
Not that it slowed them down any.
But it is so good. That was like the go-to place for baseball postseason banquets back when Bennett.
How long have they been around?
Oh, forever. I went there when I was a young kid. So 15 years.
La Casa restaurants. Let's see if I can find. I need my fact checker in here.
And then, speaking of pizza too, while you're fact checking, I saw something on, it was TikTok. I saw a thing on TikTok.
Something I never thought you'd be saying on the regular.
Ever, as an adult man. That, like a leftover pizza kind of hack, way to mix it up, is the next day you take pizza, rip the crusts off, flip them face to face, pointy, so it's like this, and put them and make them a panini. Grill it.
Oh.
It looked amazing.
It's a great idea.
Oh. I mean, how come we haven't thought of that before?
I love watching, and honestly, you talk about TikTok real quick. La Casa's been here since '53.
Okay.
Founder Joe. Sorry, I even started. Never mind. Anyway, I was going to throw it out there, but looks like an Italian name to me. Again, confusion sets in.
Totally.
Just saying. Anyway, but on TikTok, I saw a thing about making breakfast, bacon and eggs, and took a baking pan, like not a high edged one, like a cookie sheet, maybe a little bit higher than that, and put in a dozen eggs, so they're just floating around on there. Put that in the oven and you had to kind of keep your eye on it, watch it cook, because it cooked pretty fast, and baked the eggs, and then made the bacon on the waffle maker. Oh,
that's a brilliant idea.
And making bacon on a waffle maker is fast. Mm-hmm. Don't put it up too hot, because you'll burn your bacon.
I love burn bacon.
You can do it real, and you see when you put that lid down, because I tried it.
Of course.
Now my mouth's watering. Steam like crazy. Just smells. The whole house smells like bacon, which is beautiful. But steam like crazy. But there's no splatter.
Because it stays all inside the little bacon.
It's all inside the little bacon.
The thing.
Waffle iron. Right, waffle iron. But anyway, and then the steam settles down. That's when you can kind of gauge when it's fast.
I love burnt bacon. Burnt bacon is my favorite.
Try it in your waffle maker, but don't put it up too high.
I can't make bacon in our house.
She doesn't like the smell of bacon?
My wife doesn't have a lot of rules. Her only rule is no bacon being made, even in the microwave in the house. Because she can't handle the smell of bacon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does she like bacon?
I think so. I mean, I don't know. We don't have a lot of bacon.
Obviously.
We don't have a lot of bacon. I think she likes bacon. I don't know. That's a good question.
I mean, is that where that comes from? Maybe she just doesn't like bacon.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's kind of.
I mean, I wish I'd known that before I married her.
It might have been a deal breaker,
right?
Because it's kind of weird. Is food rules at home? It's never bothered me anything that was cooked, but at work drives me crazy. But that was from I guarantee this is a seed that was planted many years ago when Mom and Dad had their business, and they had a small office, but there was about 5 or 6 people that worked in it. Well, about the size of our old office actually, and there was like 5 or 6 people on the regular. And banned popcorn. Nobody can make popcorn.
Yeah.
And also banned any kind of fish. Obviously, that was the other thing too. If anything,
you can fish.
But the whole popcorn, I can't stand the smell of popcorn in an office. It doesn't bother me anywhere
so weird.
else. It's just like it's not a trigger. It's just like one of those
trigger warning.
You associate.
Yeah.
It's like there are definite feelings about smelling when I'm here.
But I never burn popcorn at home. Only when I'm at work, it burns. I can't remember the last time I burnt popcorn at home.
The microwaves are faulty. That's why it's not your microwave. You have a feel for yours, right?
You just know you feel it out. You know your microwave.
You have a feel for it. Just saying. So anyway,
okay. A quick little fact thing while you're on there. I saw something again on TikTok a couple weeks ago that it's not called a cookie sheet. It's called a cooking sheet. Is that right?
Oh dear.
Somebody posted I was today years old when I realized it was called a cooking sheet.
I want to ban that phrase too. Cookie sheet, baking sheets. Oh, or baking sheets. I see, and it's funny is when I started putting it in here, the difference between baking sheets, cookie sheets, and jelly roll pans. Well, see, they're calling it cookie sheets.
Cookie? Okay.
They are calling it cookie.
I'm not saying everything on TikTok is correct.
No, and although when you start typing it in, it autofills for you. When I put cookie sheet or cooking sheet.
Okay.
So it's not like somebody else has been looking for the same thing. Might be the fault of that TikTok.
Could be. Yeah, could be.
But I don't see cooking sheet in any of the search results.
Okay.
So I'm going to stick with cookie.
Okay, I'll stick with cookie. We're sticking with cookie. That'll be the name of today's episode, too. We're sticking with cookie.
Sticking with cookie.
So thanks for nothing, Les. Appreciate it. We are Pat and JT. Thanks for listening. It's Pat and JT, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Pat and JT Podcast, a Hurrdat Media Production.